Hi everyone, welcome back again to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise, and this will be your weekly reading for, we're going to go from Sunday, April 3rd through Saturday, April 9th. Meanwhile, sending you big hugs as always, and lots and lots of love. So anyway, let me drop the camera down and get this going. Okay, so the cards are all upright. I just need to allow for reversals. So what is it that you guys most need to know in order to come back home to who you truly are in your divine essence for the week of April 3rd through the 9th. I think it's the 3rd through the 9th. Yeah. That's right. Today's Friday the 1st. Okay, so Sunday, April 3rd through Saturday, April 9th. So I'll do, of course, 2 cards for each day. Okay, let me pull the 2 off the bottom just in case or for fun. My chopsticks there. Hold on. Okay, so Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Don't want to work on Friday. Oh, and here we have Saturday. Yeah, we're done with it, right? The week's over. Okay. Let's move these up. Okay, so with Monday, whoops, didn't mean to flip those cards over. Okay, with Sunday here, oops, with the 5 of Swords reversed, it's the best way to get this card. Usually, you know, it all depends on the context, but when we're reading the energy for the day, this would be walking away from any inner conflicts, walking away from people who might be apathetic and cut off from their heart, you know, because it's Venus in Aquarius in the negative sense. You know, when a reversal comes through, this is our Venus in Aquarius card. Okay, so it's usually upright. It has to do with defeat. It has to do with the deepest inner conflict is what I have named this card. At the least, it would be some loss, and but this, you know, like a betrayal, because you've been trying to, or other people in your life maybe have been trying to just like win no matter what. It's all about winning, a winner versus loser. When it comes through reversed, there's this place where we're open to change, and it can be some pain and some sorrow and some loss. There's that possibility, and when that happens, then, you know, that makes us even more open to change. But on another level, so you guys are gonna have to feel into it and see, or wait and see how it is for you on Sunday. It can be that this card has to do with Just letting go of your deepest inner conflict, your deepest inner wounding. You've worked through a layer and you're no longer numbed out from it, because, when you feel the pain, when you go through the pain of it, the deepest inner conflict is always going to be a lie. It's always going to be a false belief about yourself and about relationships and about the way life is. So when you let go of this need to always win or always be better than or always be something other than who you truly are in your divine essence, when you let go of that, you dismantle the whole vicious circle that's been keeping you spinning, right? So at first what happens, and that would be the meaning of this card straight up, is that we numb out from the pain. Now this is our childhood pain always, right? And childhood pain comes from an unmet real need. And the real need always has to do with pleasure, having the pleasure of connection, having the pleasure of being seen and heard and understood, and having the pleasure of warmth and everything that a baby and a child needs in order to survive, right? So if you've grown up in a battleground type of a home, or if you've grown up in a situation where you're not safe, right? Or somebody's always got to be in charge and on top, and like the kids are kept separate from the family, kind of like the parents are the only ones in charge ever, and the kids don't get to talk or be seen or heard, or, it's basically go away kind of a thing. We have this deeper inner conflict, and you could grow up feeling like either you don't matter, or you're not good enough, or you have to do something else in order to be accepted, in order to be approved of, in order to be loved. So we build up these defenses. We numb out in order to survive, because remember, we have to, as little ones, we literally have to attach our life force onto our parents. Otherwise, we're not going to make it. That's just the way it works. So if they're negative and detached from the heart, which is what the negative side of Venus and Aquarius can be, then we're going to be attached to a numbed out person, and we magnetize that into our soul substance. And then from there, what happens is, we have to work it out later on as an adult. We grow up with it, and we have to first off realize that we're numb on some level, and that begins the thawing out process. But then we also have to track the vicious circle. So you numb out in order to not feel the pain, and that numbing represses it further. I'm giving you a lesson in life here. I'm glad it came through right in the beginning, because if you don't even watch the rest of this video to do with the cards, get this down, because this is every single person's soul task, is to understand how this works and to clear it out. So we numb out in our childhood in order to not feel the pain, because we have to survive. And it creates repression. And the repression is under the real need. It represses the real need further, right? Like if you're a little one, imagine a 2-year-old who is reaching out to touch something shiny and pretty, and then you get your hand slapped, right? That happened to all of us, probably. All of us in my generation anyway. Or maybe we were going to touch a hot stove and our parent freaked out and grabbed us in such a way that it like literally shook us inside and created some shock and trauma in the body, because there is a thing called shaken baby syndrome, and if it happened hard enough and strong enough, it could have caused a little PTSD in there. Now it can be healed, of course. Just about everything can be healed. Maybe not on the physical level, but definitely on the emotional and consciousness level. And then usually that works it out in the body. But, if we're born with a handicap, we're going to live with that the rest of our lives. But that doesn't mean that we can't heal on the heart level inside, and then we don't have to deal with it in the next lifetime, right? So, but anyway, back to this vicious circle. So we repress the real need further, the real need to have pleasure and to be seen and heard and to survive, basically. And then we create a substitute need. So as an adult, or as even a little one, the substitute need could be something like always being really busy, working too much, anything, any numbing agent that we use, like food, drugs, alcohol, any addictions, any compulsions, like shopping, any negativity, that's a compulsion, is basically a place that we're going to be creating a vicious circle, because we create an alternate reality outside of ourselves, and we play around and deal with that rather than coming in. And what we need to do really is just to meet the pain. But anyway, this alternate reality and these substitute needs, they reinforce the false belief inside. And so you have to get in touch with whatever that false belief is. It'll be the lie, something like, I'm not good enough, I'll never be good enough, or I have to do this in order to be loved, and I have to submit, I have to, all these have tos, right? And it'll put us in a spin where we're either going into withdrawal and we just run away from a relationship, or we're the aggressive ones always trying to control relationship, or we're submitting within relationship. And these are all manipulations that we do in order to survive, because it's a real need to have connection, right? So everybody needs connection. When we do the hard work of connecting deep inside with ourselves and going through the pain, and then every time we meet the pain, shed the tears, we're dissolving. We're literally dissolving the numbing. We're dissolving the wounding. And so, to the degree that we dissolve it, we don't carry it around in our soul substance anymore, and we don't carry it around in our bodies, and then we don't re-attract it to us. So it's all inside, It's just, can we get out of that spin and then move forward? Well, with these two cards, so just to suffice to say, let me back up a second. The way through is always to feel the pain and question the false belief, and then connect in with a place where you have a real need that wasn't met when you were little, and just knowing what that real need is. You don't have to do anything else. You just have to know what it is. You don't have to, there's no magic trick to healing that. It's just knowing that we have a real need for connection, we have a real need for pleasure, and the more evolved we are, we go into positive pleasure rather than the negative pleasure of addiction. And then we have a real need to be seen and heard. And as adults, that turns into our creative self-expression. Okay, so from there, we continue to circle in, and heal the deeper root until we get inside of it. So just pray to know. Go to sleep at night praying to have a dream, or to know what is the false belief of your soul. It will also connect with your Chiron in your natal birth chart. Chiron, what house it's in, what sign, the house, the ruling planet, and all the aspects to it will all be clues. And if you need help with that, I can do an astrology reading for you. Just go to my website and book it, or pay for it, and then email me, and we set up a time that works for both of us. And I try to get you in right away, usually within the next week or two. Sometimes I'm a month out, but hardly ever. It's usually more like just a week or two. And because I do it every day, except for Sundays. I've been making myself take Sundays off. So anyway, I think I'm done with that. I think I've gotten that out of me. Oh, I know, wait, there is one other piece. If you find yourself like wearing kind of a mask to deal with life, just know that the mask is covering up something that you haven't worked through yet, and you're trying to be something other than who you really are, and you're making life way too hard on yourself. If you catch yourself in that, just ask yourself who you think you need to be in order to be loved, or in order to be approved of. And then when you work out that, and it'll be like an if-then statement, like, if I'm not good, it could be one, then that means I'm bad, and if I'm bad, that means I'll be punished, and like try to work through that one, because we're always going to be in a dualistic split in some type of either or, and the either ors are I'm good or bad, I'm right or wrong, I'm going to be in pain, so I need to move towards this pleasure, I need to win, or else I'm going to lose, and I don't want to be a loser. I hope you're taking notes on this. It's basically about happiness versus unhappiness. And what we need to do is to bring in the and in the middle of the whole thing. Like, yeah, we're all good and we can be bad. Doesn't mean that we're any less deserving of love. Yeah, we can be right and we can be wrong. And again, there should be no judgment around that. No one needs to be perfect. And the pleasure and pain and the life and death, all of that, we're working through that every single day of our lives. But the key to all of this is that so we all have a piece of, in our cellular memory in every cell in our body where we remember being in the spirit world, and it's unconscious, but this is a wise unconscious that we're in, where we have some memory of being in the spirit world, and when we thought of something and kind of felt into it or visualized it or just wanted it, we had it just like that. But here in this earthly plane, a lot of times we don't get it. If we're doing good, we get it half the time, and a lot of times we don't get it. But the problem is that we take it personally. We think that there's something wrong with us, that we're somehow inferior, or we're somehow inadequate. And, and we can't avoid this unhappiness or this, somewhat pain or frustration, either in love or like we have no control over our lives, or we have no pleasure, no pleasure, no present momentary, pleasure. So it's always about coming back inside and just changing it, just to accept that life on earth is imperfect. And it's probably always going to be that until we create perfect bliss and pleasure and love inside of ourselves. And then the earth would be heaven, right? And maybe we're halfway there, maybe we're 70% there. I don't know, and I don't think it matters. I don't want to get into a headspace around that, because it doesn't matter. It only matters, what matters to each one of us is that we do that inner work to create bliss and happiness inside, to where you're always just okay with yourself, no matter how bad it's on the going on in the outer world. Like, if things are terrible, you don't take it personally anymore. These are just inconvenient feelings, and they don't have anything to do with, doesn't mean that there's something wrong with you just because things don't go right. And it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you when you don't get what you've been putting out there all the time. Like you might been trying to be a really good person and always putting out love, and then you get these these idiots that come into your life and they're just mean, and then you take it personally and think, whoa, there must be something wrong with me to attract that. It's like, no, don't go there. Don't go there anymore. It's not about that. It's always on them. If they're judging you, it's never your fault. If they're mean to you, that's never your fault. Unless you've been mean to people in the past and now it's coming back to you. And if that's the case, you'll figure that out. You'll figure that out, right? So my advice is, whenever the pain comes, feel it. Go through it. Milk it for all you've got, because it's going to clear out soul substance of who knows how many lifetimes. And then you're done, right? And then you can just live life a lot more happy and a whole lot less defended. Which is what this Nine of Wands is. So straight up, it's defended. It's a lot of work. The Moon in Sag wants to get on with it, wants to win, wants to move forward. But you can tell this guy's gotten kind of beat up getting there, right? I mean, this is often the Wounded Warrior card. Now, for some of us, this could be us holding space for the war in Ukraine. and it's getting tiring. It's getting to be exhausting. With the Eight of Wands coming through reversed, that brings in the element of, I'm sorry, Eight of Wands, what am I saying? Nine of Wands. I trimmed down these cards, so there's no, I can't tell you what they are. I have to just remember. I mean, I can tell you, but I have to remember. This is the Nine of Wands. So, Nine of Wands reversed brings in a different meaning. It can bring in feeling defensive and sometimes a little alienated from others. But just remember, you're going to feel better soon. You're going to feel better soon. So if Sunday morning brings in any problems, or you turn on the news and it's too much about the war in Ukraine and you just can't take it, turn the TV off. Turn on something happy and fun. Watch something fun. Give yourself a day off from any negativity. That would be the best thing for Sunday. And then Monday, with the Eight of Pentacles reversed, this could be losing an opportunity because your mind is a little too closed. You know, just look at that hand, how it's like, you know. Because straight up, it's about, you know, it's all things Earth, you know, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, right? And it's about opportunities coming in, and can you take them? Do you want to take them and walk through that gate? Go through that gateway and all the peaceful lilies and all the beauty of nature with you, right? It's about earthly manifestations. So when it comes to reversed, it could be that there's too much about the earthly manifestation and or just earth, you know, everything going on in the earth, and you can't take it anymore. And you're needing to come within and bring it inside, bring your life force inside and regroup. Kind of like the way, you know, plants and little critters do in the winter when they hide and they go inward. It's all about an inward quest at that point. Even though it's spring, don't beat yourself. Do not beat yourself up for needing to take time off. And if you can arrange the day off on Monday, I would definitely recommend it. And I would also recommend it on Friday too, because it's not looking like anybody wants to work there. Then again, we have those days and we do what we got to do, right? But this combo here looks to me like coming more inside of yourself will help you become more self-confident, because the Queen of Wands is all about self-confidence and your bringing in your intuitive faculties and moving forward from that beautiful space of your warm, you know, natural self, who has tremendous value. But when it's reversed, this is my, you know, shrinking violet card, or we could say shrinking sunflower card. And it can be too much demands placed upon you. But it could be that there's an opportunity that's lost because somebody is putting too much demand on you and you don't have the space to open up to your intuition. So you might have to set a strong boundary there. You might have to say no to some things that come in so that you have the opportunity to work on what you want to manifest. That's a very real possibility, that it's somebody else demanding something. On another level, sometimes the Queen of Pentacles comes through reverse when it's a good, you know, like it would be a good thing to not take much of a risk on Monday. Maybe it's about not worrying. Don't worry about a missed opportunity that seems a little too risky. So that's another piece of the way it could work out for some of you. Because, you know, she's usually a free spirit, and it's all about adventure. It's very much a, you know, fire sign card, and receiving that inspiration, right? Because all the queens receive. But yeah, fire sign. So we're talking, you know, Aries, Leo, or Sag. So maybe Maybe it's about not allowing an Aries, Leo, or a Sag woman to control whatever you're trying to manifest to start the week. So you're going to have to let me know. I could have been totally off with this and whatever, but I'm on another spin here. This could have to do with the teaching I gave you in the beginning that speaks to how when our life force is tamped down, when we're not doing that inner work, then our intuitive faculties are stuck. So whether or not this will be Tuesday for you, or this is just all about the lesson that I needed to bring through for you guys, we have the Hanged Man, but the Hanged Man is reversed. So that brings in a whole different element. Straight up, it's about surrender, and with the Hermit, it's about going within. When the Hangman, ruled by Neptune, of course, is reversed, that brings in the element of just maybe having a hard time making a decision. Because there's a delay. It delays the whole thing around looking at something from a different angle. But either way, upright, it can be a sacrifice, a letting go. It can also be being kind of tied up and held up in suspension and you can't move forward. I'm reading this as, because, my whole thing for you guys is always about your spiritual growth. I'm seeing this as we're always hung up and not really meant to move forward, and we're always in this unconscious delay in our delusions until we go inside and find our inner light. This is one of my favorite cards in the deck, along with the Temperance card. But yeah, I have this guy on one of my posters in my living room, a Led Zeppelin poster. It's all about you're finding the light within. So yeah. Okay, so I'm going to keep going. So Wednesday, the Judgment card is all about honoring your inner call, finding your inner voice, and following it. And that's the transformation path. It's ruled by Pluto. I can't remember the angel that this represents. I'd have to look it up in I've got a book up there, but I think I'll skip it for this time. So anyway, honoring your inner call will bring you into clarity. That's the simple message right there. Honoring your inner call, listening to your inner call, heeding your inner voice and message. These two cards could have so much to do with meditation. Could be being stuck until you get inside and meditate, because that's the only way you can find your inner light. You have to meditate. And then you go out in life and relationships help you. And they're always mirrors. Relationships are always mirrors. And you work things through. And then you keep following your inner call. You stay on your path. Stay out of judgment. Stay out of judging anyone and yourself as we move forward. And except for these corrupt politicians that need to be held accountable, right? They definitely need some judgment. But anyway, finding your inner calling, listening to your inner voice will always be the truth. That will always lead you to the truth. So just remember that. And then with Thursday, we have the Ten of Swords, which can be quite a burden. In other decks, they've kind of flipped it around and put the wands, like over here on his back so he can at least see his feet. But this card is all about perseverance to the point that you're just done. You're done with carrying the heavy load. It's it's one of those cards where it's a burden. And you've taken self-responsibility, and it's been a lot of hard work, but there's achievement. But because it's hanging over the Four of Pentacles reversed, this could be that there's a little too much stress and worry about money. And when we have the Four of Pentacles reversed, it's really a lesson around letting go of any type of, like, it's a burden to carry around the lack of consciousness around money. So what I mean by that is, if we're always in that vicious circle of believing there's not enough, and maybe we've been unconscious to it in the past, and now we're in touch with this, oh, what a burden I've been carrying because I thought that there's never enough. Because if you think there's never enough, then that's what you're going to have in your life all the time, is just like not really ever having quite enough. You're always going to be like, scraping and scrapping to get everything together. So to turn it around, we would need the Empress card. Let's see what the heck was on the bottom here. Well, we have Justice and Victory. Justice and the Six of Wands, which is all about victory and being seen and heard and recognized and accomplished. This is my pat yourself on the back card. And finally, it's coming through. There's justice around. Finally. Finally, the scales are balanced. Finally, you're seen and recognized. I love it. I wanted it to be the, the Empress card, but I'm seeing if I can find it here. It's like, no, she's not coming through. But anyway, the Empress card. Pull out the Empress card in your deck and feel into that. Wait, hold on. Do I have? Yeah, I do. Do I have it here? No, darn it. I have a deck somewhere where they're all the same. Where they're all in order. I have to get that out and have it nearby next time. I don't have it close by right now. Yeah. Oh well, sorry about that. Okay, back to the cards. With the Three of Pentacles, like I said before, nobody wants to work this day. If you're having to work, you could be surrounded by other people who don't want to work, and there's no teamwork. And it could also be people who are just, they don't care about how many skills you have. They're just going to skate over you anyway. This isn't a good day for work. So if you can, like I said, take the day off. But another message here, like if this is just a big thing about abundance, then the message would be to understand that skills and that hard work of skills, like with the Eight of Pentacles, is what always needs to occur in order to, that's the healthy energy of this card, which is Mars and Capricorn, which is about always giving your best, always doing your best. You might not feel like you have your best to give this day, and that's okay, because sometimes we just have bad days. That doesn't make you a bad person or any less than at all. It's just sometimes days are hard. And with the Death card reverse, this is ruled by Scorpio. When the Death card comes through reversed, that would be some people that are maybe, this combo here could be someone who's controlling and doesn't want to work with the team. And they're holding up the whole team, and there needs to be a change. But because when this comes through reversed, it's a resistance to change. It's someone trying to control the whole thing, and we're in like survival issues. They're in survival and power and control issues, and it's not good at all. So if this is a work situation, you might just be noticing what's going on, and then the changes might need to come later. If that's the case, it looks like by Saturday, you're just done. Whatever this is, you're done. It's like, put a fork in it. We're done. We're not doing that anymore. Because with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, it messes with our stability. It messes with our ability to be sustainable in a way that can grow. Because she's all about the growth and receiving more and more and more to continue the growth that nurtures others. And the King of Pentacles, is her counterpart that helps her hold that structure together. But when when she comes through reversed, it's possible that there's a woman that's trying to control the whole thing, and you guys are, figuring out where we just have to be done with this person. Now, on another level, this could be an imbalance with work commitments, because, this happened Friday, and with this Ten of Swords, there was that realization that this could be somebody stabbed you in the back, and this would be somebody at work, because this is my card for, it comes to work, because Pentacles are often about work. This is my card for a toxic environment, and you're just done. That's really interesting. Okay, so that brings more to mind with these bottom two cards about the about the balance that needs to happen, and maybe there there needs to be some teamwork where you guys all speak up and talk to each other about it. Let's do some oracle cards and figure this out, or just to see what is it that needs to come through in order to help. Here, I'll figure that out later. Let's use... Oops, I'll choose this deck. Actually, you know what? Hold on. I have this other fun deck. It's going to be a total switch, but maybe there's some support in it. It's called the Mystic Martian Oracle. My friend Debbie over at Freebird Spirit turned me onto it, by Lisa Porter. If you like it, check out the edges. And it came just like right out of the box. It's so easy to shuffle. So, but I'm going to have to read whatever I get. I'm going to have to read it out of the book, because I'm just completely not... I'm not much of an ET person. But let's see, what messages do we have from the ET community to help us? And only from the highest realms. Only from the highest realms. Okay. Well, I thought they would spread a little better than that, but at least they're not too sticky. Maybe I just needed to let them air out a little longer. Okay, let's do 5 cards. Andromedans? Andromedans. Oh yeah, that reminds me of an Arcturians. That reminds me of something I saw on, was it on Nova or some channel, where it's like our Milky Way galaxy is moving, it's growing and expanding and moving, and because it's like consciousness is always putting itself out there. It's like all of us are creating and putting things out into the universe, and we're moving in this direction towards Andromeda. And Andromeda is doing the same thing, and I don't know if that's what this card is about, but there's another galaxy that is moving in this other direction, and we're moving together, and at some time they'll come together. They're worried about it like exploding and then the world or the universe is done. But don't worry, because it's supposed to be like 4 billion years from now. So 4 eons from now. But I was thinking, it doesn't mean that everything has to blow up like the Big Bang. It could be that they just come together in a because one's coming this way and the other one's coming this way, and I can't remember which ones went which way. But I had the vision in my head of the yin yang symbol of just, now everything comes together. And maybe it's like the earthly universal plane of just like the divine masculine and feminine coming together. So, okay, 2 more cards. Blue Avians. That reminds me of that Avatar movie and Third Eye. Okay. So I'll just hold them up, and this one's about, I don't need to read out of the book for this one. This one's about autonomy, free will, and manifestation. And I love that they got the yin-yang symbol right. I can't tell you how it drives me nuts when I see, yin-yang symbol like sideways or backwards. This is the way it should be. Masculine energy coming up and over from the right, and feminine energy coming down and coming down and in from the left. But yeah, cool. There's a lot of eyes there, aren't there? But yeah, autonomy, free will, and manifestation. And that's the thing, is the universe, and whatever you want to call it, God, the forces of love, cosmic intelligence, will never mess with our free will. And that's the reason why it's up to us to create what it is that we want. We are the ones creating it anyways. So when things go bad, it doesn't necessarily mean that that we're bad, but we just make mistakes, and we need to try again in a different way, coming from a different angle. It can be kind of a paradox, where it's not so simple. It's not like karma is the law of cause and effect, but it's not that simple that that it's this happened because you did this bad thing in the past. It's not that simple. It can be that you have to go through an experience because you heal something, and it doesn't mean you did anything wrong in the past. It's just that it was challenging in the past. This one is Arcturians. I guess they're the ones that help us feel safe, and the wisdom keepers, and they have concern for us. Wow. Okay. And then our Agarthans? I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, you guys. You might have to help me. Manifesting. Boy, we have a lot of manifesting here, don't we? Multi-dimensional perception and attunement. Wow. You can tell they're very connected to Earth and the growth and food and wow. Gorgeous. They look a lot more human though, don't they? Yeah, it makes sense, like the agrarian agriculture, right? Agrarian, would that be it? No, I don't know. Agriculture. Growing food. And then blue avians has to do with philosophy. Ooh, releasing karma, because now you understand it, right? You understand whatever the false belief was that was holding the karma in. And there's positive karma too. So blue avians, mysticism, philosophy, releasing karma, and mysticism. Looks like the wisdom of I don't know, would it be a hawk or a falcon? Some kind of bird. Blue avians, of course, yeah. Well, this one is the third eye. Man, that's quite a head. Visions, manifesting, and meditation. Okay, so taking this all in, I feel like the guidance for the week with this deck is to know that we have our free will and our autonomy, and that's what will continue to manifest always, on Earth. We're never, children don't really have their free will, and animals don't necessarily, but of course, but as humans, we have our own free will, and that should never be messed with. And there's a lot of concern for safety on the planet right now. We have, of course, the war in Ukraine going on, and I think that they're helping us hold space there, because there's just that little guy in Russia that's trying to take away people's free will. And I think they're helping us. And then here we are on Earth, And I think the Agarthans, I guess, it would be, how to say it? They're holding space for the beauty of earth, like this looks to me like heaven on earth. And then with the blue avians, I think they're helping us as well to get on our spiritual path, if we're not, to focus on our spiritual path even more. And then we need to meditate. That's the message there. We need to meditate. We need to meditate on what we want to manifest. And to know that we're safe no matter what, because even if we die, we just cross over into another realm. There's no such thing as real death. I mean, there isn't. Death is just change and transformation, transition into a new realm. Yeah, okay. Well, that's all I have. I love this color here. I used to see this color outside when I lived up in the mountains a lot. I think because I was at pushing 7,000 feet altitude. And maybe I was delirious when I was hiking. I used to see this color out in nature. Yeah, and once when I was talking to my friend years ago in California, this color just like whoosh, came down like right in between us both. And we both saw it. We were both like, whoa, what was that? At the same time. And I think it's because we were just like such dear friends. We still are. So anyway, I am going to close this reading up. I thank you all. I'm sending you lots of love and big hugs as always. And take good care. Okay, bye.